Okay, so what we're doing, first of all, same thing as what I've told you guys before about a positive and a positive always leads to a positive positive. A positive negative always leads to a positive negative. A negative negative always leads to a positive negative. And a negative positive always leads to a negative negative. Okay, so we've got things kind of set up there. And I'm going to look at these values. And before I start factoring, I'm going to look to see, is there something that all three of these numbers have as a common factor, a greatest common factor that they share? And in this first set, all three of these numbers are divisible by 4. So I'm going to factor that 4 out. I'm going to put it out front. Okay? Let me zoom in a little bit here on my camera. There we go. So I'm pulling the 4 out. Now, that leaves me with v squared minus 11v plus, and 4 will go into 112 twice with 3 left over, and it'll go into 32 8 times. Okay, now if I distributed the 4 across, I'd have 4v squared minus 44v plus 112. But what I want to do is continue factoring. So I know v squared is going to break up into v times v. Okay? It's a minus plus, and a minus plus leads to a minus minus. Okay, now let's list our factors to 28. We've got 1 and 28. I've got 2 and 14. I've got, let's see, 4 goes into 28 7 times. 5 won't divide evenly into 28. 6 won't divide evenly into 28. So that's all our factors, because I'm back up to 7 again. Now, if that's the case, I'm looking for the pair. If both were negative, they would add up to negative 11. And that's going to be these two. If this was negative 4, this was negative 7, that gives me negative 11 for the middle. So let's do FOIL back just to make sure and see. V times v is v squared. V times negative 7 is negative 7v. Minus 4v is negative 11v. And negative 4 times negative 7 is positive 28. So we've got 4 times v minus 4 times v minus 7. Okay? So number 2, let's see. Looking at both 4 and 20, we have a common factor of 4. I also have a common factor of n squared, because n squared will divide out n cubed. N squared will also divide out of n squared. Now, what am I left with? Well, I've 4n squared divided into 4n cubed just leaves me with n. 4 divided into 20 is 5, so I've got plus 5. And n squared into n squared would be 1, so 1 times 5 is 5. So we've got 4n squared times n plus 5. And since that's not a trinomial, well, we don't have to worry about factoring that anymore. Same way on number 3. I've got 2a squared plus 4a, so I'm going to factor out 2a from both of these. That leaves me with a And 2a into 4a would be 2. So 2a times a plus 2. All right, looking at number 4. All three are negatives, and that would make it easier if we didn't have to deal with those. It'd also be nice because all three are divisible by 3, and I have an x in each one. So I'm going to factor out negative 3x. That leaves me with x squared plus 12x and plus 27. Because I factored out negative 3 out, all three parts. Okay, so a plus plus is going to give me a plus plus, according to my chart at the top of the page. So x plus, x plus. The factors of 27 are 1 and 27, or 3 times 9. Those are the only two pairs. And if they're both a positive, which pair would add up and give me 12 for the middle? Well, that's 3 and 9. So it's going to be x plus 3, x plus 9. And just multiplying it back, x times x is x squared. Outside, 9x. Inside 3x gives me a total of 12x for the middle. And then 3 times 9 is 27. All right, so you've got 1 through 20 that is going to be factoring GCFs. On 21 through 30, it's spiral review, but here's the thing. This time for the spiral review, not only do you have problems like you had on worksheet A, but you also have some perfect squares. And you also have some differences of perfect squares, like number 27. Okay? So it's kind of a mixed review. Anyway, next assignment, or this assignment, you need to stop at 30. And then I'm going to give you about 15 minutes. And then we'll take our quiz.